So I have had this idea that it would be fun to have an illegal book club, that when I get these ARCs, like send it to one of you and then you have to send it to the other person and everyone has to send it. It's just one book and we all share it.
Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? And if you're coming back, hi dude, I missed you. The book community is never freaking sleeping and the tea today is piping hot. So let's just get straight into it. A cookbook author with 300,000 Instagram followers just told everyone that they should be fine with their books being leaked through an illegal book club. But here's the catch. Would she want the same thing happening to her cookbooks? Let's talk about it, because while some authors are begging to be included in this illegal book club, other authors are really upset about it. By the way, if you want to keep up with what's happening in the book community, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I post every Sunday. Okay.
I have had this idea because I now get advanced reader copies because I talk about books so much that publishers have started sending me them. So I have had this idea that it would be fun to have an illegal book club, because stay with me. My manager's going to see this and be like, no, Caroline, like that's literally illegal. I don't think it's like literally illegal. I think it's just like, please don't. Usually they say on them, like, do not share, yada, yada. But I will say on this one, it only says not for sale. These are uncorrected proofs. Do not quote. Okay. So I've had this idea that when I get these ARCs, advanced reader copies, to read them as fast as I can and then start a book club, like on what to cook. I'm so into that or something, and I like send it to one of you and then you have to send it to the other person and everyone has to send it. It's just one book and we all share it.
So this lady on her Instagram story basically proposed that we should chain send ARCs of authors in order to create buzz about the books. And she says like these are ideas that she has at 2 a.m. and I have some ideas at 2 a.m. and they're bad. That's why I keep them at 2 a.m. and I'm not sharing it with everyone. She stated her intention to help authors hype their book before the release date in order to help with pre-sales. And yes, in theory, I can understand where she's coming from. I'm not lying to you guys. I don't understand where she's. I don't agree with her. But let me tell you what I think her thought process was. We'll talk about it in depth and we'll talk about her response and everything. But she did call it illegal, which it's already like a red flag for me, because you're like already kind of screaming for attention and already kind of trying to do a little clickbaity and rage baity to get attention from people. But basically the response from this was divided in two camps. I think you're gonna see two types of authors responding to this. So we have the first camp, which is mostly indie authors, undiscovered authors, and authors who are struggling putting their books out there. And basically they're agreeing with this lady because they're saying that any exposure is good exposure. They need readers desperately. But here's the problem. If you want to get into this ARC readers chain and your book is mid or sucks, people are just going to pass this book and not read it, which probably already is happening with your books because your books might not be good. This would work if your book is genuinely good and would create buzz around your book. But those are such slim chances, because I feel like if your book was good, it would already get some attention. If you're a struggling author and your book is already free, because a lot of the times with indie authors, their books are usually on Kindle Unlimited. And if you don't know what Kindle Unlimited is, basically an Amazon subscription where you just get hundreds and hundreds of books are posted daily through Kindle Unlimited. So if your book is there, you probably want people to desperately find it. Of course, you're fine with people just distributing your book for free, because that would just be like free marketing for you. But this brings me to the other side of this whole equation, which like I agree with them. On the other side, there's the absolutely not authors who are very against what this lady is saying. And basically these are authors who are profiting from their books. Let me explain. These are usually traditionally published authors with an already built fan base. First of all, they're not struggling. with getting people to read their book. It's actually the opposite. And usually when people want arcs, they don't really want arcs of I know this is sad, but they don't really want arcs of someone they don't know. They want a very popular book arc. It brings multiple issues. First one is the leak issue. Arcs just freely getting distributed to whoever wants is basically a leak of information, and that shouldn't happen, especially with overhype. It would just create the next problem, which is the money issues. Because if this arc just gets distributed to everyone, how is this author gonna make money from publishing anymore? It's not just creating free press for the book, is just basically getting a free copy. And even with the going back to the Kindle Unlimited, even though it's hard to get discovered there, at least you get paid for pages read. So even if you get people to read it outside of that, you're still losing money. Also, a huge loss of control over your book. Once it gets out there, you can't control what people leak from it, so you might just people can put it on the internet. People can do whatever they want with that. Let's take a step back a little bit and have a little bit of a reality check, and let me tell you exactly how this thing would play out if it would happen, because let's not lie to ourselves. People would only want highly anticipated books. For example, I would have sold my soul for an early copy of Alchemized, but that didn't happen. Did I go and beg to other people for it? No, I didn't, because I could wait and buy the book. Anyways, let's just imagine someone gets an arc of ACOTAR 6 and they just decide to just hype it up in this free book club, free press, book buzz club, and just pass it down to a lot of people. Can you imagine Sarah J. Maas being happy about that? Because let's be honest, she wouldn't. And only those would create a big buzz, because I don't think every other book sent on that would create buzz. The irony is the books that would get noticed the most in these chains and create the most buzz would be the books that already are popular, the ones that I can 100% assure you authors don't want them out there. But you haven't heard the worst, because this lady, who has 300,000 followers on Instagram, she is a published cookbook author. Yeah, she's a published author. Are you telling me you're willing to put your book down this chain of free arcs? Because I would love to review your next cookbook and share it with everyone to create buzz. Cookbooks are highly visual. The recipes, the photography, the editing, those cost a lot of money. And any cookbook authors makes money from people buying their books, just like fiction authors do. It's just easy to be generous with other people's work when it's not your livelihood on the line. Of course, as in any influencer book drama, there was a response to this. And of course, I have captured it. We just got the classical influencer non-apology. I am the victim here. Instead of saying, you know what? I can see your point of view, guys, and I can understand how I was wrong from some points of view. No, she just doubled down and played the victim card. Wait, before we move on, I want to make it clear that not a single nasty message has been from an existing member of this community. She's talking about getting bad messages. People who actually know me here know that I love supporting books and authors. But someone posted a screenshot of me out of context on Threads, and all these people decided to spend their election day attacking a mom on Instagram with zero understanding of who I am and the ways I support authors. First of all, the attacking a mom of Instagram is such a low card to play, because what do you mean? You're an author with 300,000 followers. You cannot play the little "I'm just a girl" card. You have an audience. You can't just be like, I'm just a mom, I don't know what I'm doing. You're a published author. You're an adult. You have 300,000 followers. You can't play that card. Being a mom doesn't shield you from criticism when you open your platform to everyone. This just gives me, I'm just a girl, don't criticize me. I made an oopsie. And then she says, zero understanding of who I am, the ways I support authors. I went to your page. I don't see any, at least put receipts. I feel like this is just like out of your here, just saying, oh, just you guys don't know all the good things I do. Tell us. No, tell us, because you just briefly mentioned it. And then she goes ahead and says, sorry for even bringing it up here, but it doesn't feel good to be blasted on the internet for something that's important to me, like supporting authors. The entire idea would be to support authors and share their books before publication, aka help them make bestseller lists by getting more pre-sales. Here's the thing, if you want authors to get a lot of pre-sales, because I'm assuming that you're talking about tiny authors, because this would not help a big author in any way, shape, or form. But if you want to put small authors on blast, maybe put them on your page. You have 300,000 followers, so maybe you can put them on your page. The ARC chain was just an idea to get some momentum. And then she says, P.S. There are 10 plus kind, lovely New York Times best-selling authors in my DMs asking me to do an illegal book club with their next arcs. So to all the indie authors being so mean in my DMs, don't worry, I won't do it with your book. I promise not to promote your books with my unethical book club. Okay, I'm done now. Girl, where are these authors? Show me the receipts. If they're like New York Times bestseller, show me. Show me. Post them on your story, please. I wanna see who these authors are. Because I honestly don't believe you. I think that's just lying for making your point of view seem correct, because you're like, look, these big authors agree with me. Where are they? Do you know how hard it is to hit a New York Times bestselling list? Do you know how much work and how many book sales are needed? You're telling me that established authors who have proven that they can sell books are asking you to give their books away for free? I really want to know who these authors are now. I honestly believe like either these authors don't exist and you just made it up to just prove your point, or just plain the like, actually I was right, or these people did not understand what you meant, or maybe just like some random author was just like, haha, such a fun idea, and you're like, oh my god, 10 plus authors are begging me to put their books in my book club. Be for fucking real. And then she said, to all the indie authors being so mean in my DMs, don't worry, I won't do it to your books. And there it is. The passive aggressiveness of a influencer apology. Fine, I was trying to help you, but now because you're being to me, I won't help you anyway, and you won't get my generosity. This response has told me everything I need to know about her, because she's not actually trying to help people, because if she did, she would be actually open to feedback and understanding how what she said can be harmful for the book community. I think she just wanted people to like, oh my god, that's such a good idea, pat her on the back and be like, you're so generous. The fact that you're getting arcs and you want to share them with everyone, no one does that. Yes, because arcs are just sent to a selective group of people who are supposed to hype up the book. Sending it to everyone who wants to read it will not create hype, will just create a free book. But yeah, I just got annoyed like seeing her playing the victim so much, even like saying I'm just a mom, because I see this so much in the book community, like people making a mistake, saying something bad, instead of just being like, oh, actually, I did not consider that angle. You know what, you guys are right, I'm sorry, it's just like, I didn't think it through. You just go and double down and be like, but I'm just a girl, and you're not gonna get my help now. You can be well-intended and wrong at the same time. These two things are not mutually exclusive. I want to talk about how serious these issues can become if something like this would happen, because this is a very serious thing that you're proposing, and let me tell you why it wouldn't work. There's an ethical concern, because is it fair for authors who depend on sales? Because I will 100% promise you, a lot of these people, because I've seen what's out there, will not buy the book anymore. People are pirating books. People are just scavenging websites to read books for free. You're not telling me that they're gonna read this arc and then they're gonna go and buy the book. Authors are depending on every sale they make. So it's a big ethical question when you're proposing on doing that. And then there's the sustainability question, because I get what you're proposing, but if this would become normalized, there would be no way of making money for authors. And second time, if this would become normalized, I think ARCs altogether would be stopped, because it just would create a chaos environment in the bookish community. And at the end of the day, I just think it's just the entitlement angle, because people do not know boundaries anymore. How are you gonna just sit on your high horse now being like, I'm getting some free ARCs now, so I have this idea? No, some ideas just have to stay at whim, okay? Like, people don't have boundaries with what they share anymore. All in all, I think this was very well intended, but very naive. I can understand where she was, no, I cannot understand, but I can understand how someone can have a thought like that and not consider all the other implications. But that being said, when people try to educate you why this would not be okay, you don't go out of your way to be aggressive about it. And then I think it's overall disrespectful to authors' livelihood. And I think that's the angle that you did not take into consideration, because yes, sales would drop drastically if that would be the reality. What do you think about this whole situation? Because I'm seeing a big divide in the community, and I'm really curious where you stand. That makes me think, what should indie authors do to get more discovery, if not this way? Because I think it's really hard to stand out in the bookish community, especially with AI publishing books now, which is crazy. We're gonna talk about that in the next video, I think. But I don't know. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys into the next one. Bye!